Welcome to the Audience Converter Podcast, the podcast for converting your audience from strangers to loyal fans. We dive deep and discuss how entrepreneurs, consultants, and coaches can level up their business to help more people in the world. Now here's your host, the creator of the Audience Conversion Method, Kimberly Whitecamp.
Are you a community leader who's looking to really build your community through the power of email? It's the first chance you have to get in front of the right people, and you should make the most of it. So many community leaders take the template approach, and you've lost your community before they've even found you. How about crafting the perfect welcome series instead? You can grab my guide, Crafting the Perfect Welcome Series, at theaudienceconverter.com/giveaway. Discover the tips and tactics I use to help my clients get up to an 80% open rate. When people open those first few emails, they're more likely to continue opening your messages, engaging, and buying from you. Build your community the right way with a welcome series that converts. Grab your copy at theaudienceconverter.com/giveaway. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Audience Converter Podcast for community leaders. I am your host, Kimberly Whitecamp, conversion copywriter and marketing strategist. And today we are talking about marketing, but in a new way. I want to talk about a marketing reset, how to rethink marketing for 2021 and beyond. Now, the reason why we're talking about this today is because I recently hosted a summit called the Biz Reset Summit for 2021. And the whole purpose was to help people figure out how they could hit reset on their business. Mostly because a lot of us had a very chaotic last year. We had ups, downs, topsy-turvy, twisty, windy, up and around a roller coaster ride of a year. And I think a lot of us were a bit overwhelmed. You know, there's chaos, there's pivots, there's changes. And we were trying to figure out exactly how we were going to move forward. How could we harness all of the changes of the last year and turn them into something positive, turn them into something that was really going to help us create sustained success for 2021 and beyond, all the way into our future. And part of that process is rethinking marketing. Going to hit reset on our marketing. I want to talk about putting forward a marketing reset. Now, I talked about this topic in more depth on the Biz Reset Summit, and you can get that recording for that particular training in the show notes. But one of the things I really want to focus on right now is what is a reset and what is marketing? Now, a lot of people still use the old school method of marketing, which is this approach of raising awareness, right? It's this approach of you have to bombard your audience ad nauseum with all of the different things that you do so that you can finally kind of show up in their periphery. There was some kind of study, I forget which one, but there have been so many articles published in the last year or two about how many marketing messages people see within a single day. And I think the number is something like 10,000, okay? 10,000 marketing messages within one day. How on earth do you stand out among all of that noise? Now let's think about the big names in marketing, right? Coca-Cola, Nike, Adidas, American Airways, whatever you want to call it. Those big names, those corporate names, what do they do when they use their marketing dollars? And I'll tell you what, partially what they do is they don't actually advertise their stuff. They don't actually advertise how they fix anything because they've become such a big name. So mostly they are advertising for something called market share. They want to make sure their name is still out there, their name is still heard. Most people know what Coca-Cola provides. Most people know what Nike provides. Most people know what Geico provides, right? But they don't really talk about necessarily how they're going to help people in their marketing. Their marketing is very much for entertainment and to keep their name top of mind. Now, if you are a community builder, okay? If you're a coach, if you're a course creator, if you're an online expert whose sole purpose is to help people, to serve, and of course to build a community around what you do, that's not the type of marketing you want to use. But so many of us have this idea in our head that marketing means that we need to put all of this stuff out there so that people can know that we exist. And I want to kind of float this idea of a marketing reset, of, you know, how you can ditch this stressful and exhausting guess mode of marketing, essentially, on what's going to work, what's not going to work, and rethink what marketing really means. Now, the definition that I have been using for marketing is putting your message in front of people who are already looking for your help. It's a completely different way of looking at your marketing. It's not about interrupting their day. It's not about capturing their attention when they're not looking for you. It's all about strictly presenting the message to the people who already have identified that they want help. It's a completely different approach, and the internet makes it even more important. Think about this. One of the things I hear a lot from solopreneurs, especially, is that, look, I don't have time to make a website, but I can't promote my stuff. I can't market myself. I can't claim I have a business until I have my website up. And if you are interested in hearing my perspective on how to get started without a website, do be sure to listen into the No Website Getting Started guide. That link will also be in the show notes. But the thing is that very few of us land on a website homepage anymore. We don't. We put in a question to our phones, to Siri, to Alexa, to an actual laptop for those of us who still use one. I certainly do. But we put in a question around a problem. We know we have a problem. I've got a problem. I want to fix my problem. I don't necessarily know what the solutions are out there. I'm not necessarily looking for a specific solution. I am just saying, hey, I have a problem. I want to fix it. And that is how people come across your company nowadays. Now, they probably don't land on your homepage. They land on a landing page. They land on a free gift you're giving away. Somebody recommends a guide to them that you're giving away. They find a video where you talk about that particular product. They listen to your podcast, right? There are all these different ways that people might stumble across your name and what you do and who you serve. And it has absolutely nothing to do with landing on your homepage and deciding, okay, where do I go next, right? Most people are going to take a very different approach. And it's what I like to call the audience attraction model. Now, a lot of the things that are included in this audience attraction model are the same as what most people refer to as a lead generation machine. But here's where I want you to start thinking and contemplating what the difference is. And here it is. Lead generation implies you have to generate. Generate means you have to create. So if we're talking about electricity, for example, right, an electrical generator, it creates electricity to power something, right? And that's the idea of lead generation. We create leads to power our business. But that's not the best way to reach out to people. That's not the best way to get people into our communities. It's not the best way to get people to know about what we do. And the reason for that is because people are looking for help. They want help now. They have a problem. They're looking for solutions. And you shouldn't need to be creating anything. The purpose of your marketing is not to get a bunch of people in who don't know who you are, who don't know what you do, and then you have to convince them that you're the right solution for a problem they weren't even aware they had. That's not the right way to look at it. The right way to look at marketing is, who out there can I serve? I really need to define who that is, and then figure out what their top problem is. And once I know that, create the marketing that speaks to that problem. Create the marketing that speaks to where people are. And where they are is they have a problem, right? They have a problem. They want help. Okay. So when we talk about leads, I hate that term because it makes it so easy for us to generalize that we are getting a bunch of people into our world. Okay. People into our world. It's not about getting more and more names. It's about getting quality audience members. And I call it the audience because that's who you're talking to. Who are the people you can help? Who are the people who want to come and listen to you? Who are the people that make up your audience in a webinar, that make up your audience and among those who are going to read your lead magnet, for example, or read your audience attraction magnet is what I like to call it. Who are those people? And once you have that defined, then you're creating your marketing and it becomes so much easier. So I would say, a lot of people said, I completely disrupted. I was completely disrupted. I had to hit pause. I had to do all these different things when it comes to my marketing and I just don't know what's going to work anymore. And I would like to float, right, this idea that it's not about you having to change. I want you to focus on the fact that all of the changes that you've had to make over the last year are for your benefit. It probably helped you figure out who really can be served by you, who is the best fit for you. All of these questions, all of these tactics that people ask me about, tactics at the end of the day is just another way to get your message out there. It's all about who are you talking to. So when we talk about old school marketing, I kind of call it guest mode marketing, right? You wake up, you're worried about where's my next client coming from. You put off doing your marketing because, you don't want to do it. It's icky. It's gross. You don't feel authentic doing it, but you're going to get to it soon because you should, right? You continue to should all over your business. And then you're scrambling last minute to meet a logistics deadline. Like you told yourself you're going to go live every day, or you told yourself you're going to email every day. And then you're like, okay, great. I have to put something together. I don't know what it's going to be about. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to babble. Hopefully something that makes sense is going to come out. And, occasionally you get a few new people, but they're not necessarily in the right place to work with you. But what about if you could change that perspective and said, get a healthy number of new audience members and get conversions, but without all of the stress? Wake up in the morning, sip your coffee while journaling, take a start your day more relaxed, check your calendar, see what's coming up, realize you've got an audience first marketing slot, but you know exactly what you're going to talk about, you know exactly how it fits in, and you know exactly how it's going to get done. You check your cart, you've got a couple of new sales from a DIY course that people found because of your audience first marketing approach. Okay. So I want you to think about what kind of a difference would that make? If your marketing was all about your audience, if your marketing was all about how do I meet my audience where they are so I can take them one step closer to working with me? It's a completely different thought process. It's not about you getting yourself out there. It's about you getting your message out there so the people who are looking for you, they don't know your name yet, but they're already looking for you. They want you. And by you hiding in the background, by you not putting your message out there, you're actually harming your audience because they need your help. They need you. They're looking for you. And yeah, while somebody who might be able to outspend you on any manner of marketing might come up first, they're going to quickly realize that that's not the relationship they want to have. So, the definition of marketing and your interpretation of it can really impact your outcome. Okay. So let's talk about audience, right? I use the term audience because it implies that there are actual people who are listening to you. People on your email list are not leads. They are your audience. They are the people who are showing up and saying, yes, I want to hear from you. Just like people who go to a play or go to a rock concert, when those things are able to happen again on a normal basis, those are people are interested in what is going on stage. They know what they're going to get and they're showing up to get it. And the people in your audience, the people on your email list, the people in your social media followings are the same way. They are showing up. They have said yes. They have clicked that button to follow you. They have given you their email address because they are interested in what is happening on your stage. They are interested in what you are doing. And you need to be in communication with them on a regular basis. So let's talk really quick. It's about generating versus attracting. Attracting means you're talking to the people that want to work with you and they find you and they come in. Generating implies work. Generating implies that you have to overcome so many other obstacles and barriers before you can get them to work with you. And that seems like a more difficult approach, doesn't it? If you have to convince every single person who comes into your list that you're the right fit for them, wouldn't it be better just to bring in people who are already kind of halfway there, people who are already 10, 20, 30% ready to work with you, and all they need to know is a little bit more about what that looks like, how you can help them, how you can serve them. They are aware they have a problem. They're aware they're open. They want help. And they indicate that interest by signing up to be a part of your list, by signing up to be a part of your audience, by signing up to be a part of your community. So, ask yourself this question. Who is looking for you? Who is looking for you? And then on the flip side, remember that your business is yours. You get to decide, who do I work with? You get to decide what that relationship looks like. So decide for yourself, who do you want to serve? And then look at who finds you now and see, is it the same group? Is it a different group? Is it a mixed group? And how can you change your marketing to reflect that so that you get more of the people you want to serve and less of the people who aren't a great fit to work with you? So this whole approach of changing the definition of our marketing, of hitting reset on our marketing, is simply giving us time to really sit back and decide, why do people come to me? What makes me happy? What fills me up with passion? And how can I help serve my audience? I have said again and again that at the heart of any great marketing campaign is one simple question, and that is, how can I help you? Right? How can I help you? So your marketing needs to answer that question of how can I help you? I being you and you being your audience. So how can you help your audience? What questions do they have? What concerns do they have? What keeps them up at night? Those are all popular questions, but we don't necessarily create our marketing with that in mind. So for your marketing reset, I challenge you to really sit down and define who is your audience? What do they look like? Who is that person? Are you attracting the right people? And then changing your marketing so that you're attracting the right people, you're attracting the right audience. You've built an audience attraction funnel, and you're not worried about creating more names that are going to take 10 times as much work to get half the conversion that others would. No, you're looking at attracting the people who are pretty close to ready to working with you. Now, I say pretty close. It could be 6 months, it could be 6 days, it could be 6 years. But they are one step closer than those who don't know who you are, don't know what you do, and they're not really thinking about the problems that you best help solve. And to help with this process, I have actually created a 3-day workshop. It is workshop style, get it done, so that you can create what I'm calling the audience attraction funnel, right? Your audience has a problem. Your audience is looking for you and they're just not finding you. So let's create the copy. Let's get you and get all of the copy you need to start attracting your audience done in a 3-day time span. The audience conversion live is going to be happening February 16th through the 18th. And it is your opportunity to finally get your copy done. And make sure that you are actually creating the marketing that's going to speak to the people you want to talk to, and not just anyone who kind of walks in your door or stumbles upon your stuff, right? The people who are actively looking for how you can help them. Let's create that audience attraction. You can find out more information by contacting us at contact@theaudienceconverter.com, or there will be a link in the show notes to more details about the Audience Conversion Live. Remember, though, there will also be 2 pre-training events happening so that you can show up 100% ready to dive in and get all of your copy written. Where else are you going to get the opportunity to get a copywriter to review your copy as you write it and get feedback from other people who could be your ideal clients? You're going to get your copy done. You're going to get your marketing strategy in place. And most importantly, you are going to have the tools and resources you need to start bringing in the right people for your business. I can't wait to see you there. And thank you for listening to this episode of the Audience Converter Podcast for community leaders. Just remember, marketing reset's not a dirty word, okay? In fact, at my recent summit, I asked each of my speakers to define reset, and each of them had a different interpretation. So go ahead and sit down. What does reset mean to you? And put a positive spin on it. All of these things that we've gone through in the last few days, in the last few weeks, in the last few months, in the last year, they can all be turned into a positive for you and your business. And it's time for us to reclaim our lives from our business, and that starts by hitting reset on your marketing. Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep calm and carry on, and check out the Audience Conversion Live.
Thanks for listening to the Audience Converter Podcast. For more information and important links about today's show, or for access to our website, visit theaudienceconverter.com. Take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.